Continue learning about story arcs, we're also going to be practicing searching for where are the pieces of the story arc in different stories. As you show me that you're learning that, we're also going to be practicing test taking strategies. So some of these questions, while we're working with the same topic, the same skill set of understanding story arcs, we're going to be showing our understanding through more difficult or more complex kinds of answers. For now, we're just going to be looking at multiple choice. And while looking at multiple choice, we're going to be practicing searching between those four options. Generally, multiple choice has four. And we're going to be practicing recognizing which ones might be the answer and which ones obviously are incorrect. If we're able to recognize which ones are obviously incorrect, it's going to be easier to make those four options, which sometimes get very confusing, down to maybe two options, so that it's going to be easier for you to be able to look at the two and determine which one is the correct answer. Let's use our current assignment as that tool for me to be able to teach you this. You should be watching the film Pip. You can watch that film by clicking here, or you could have found the film in our Google Classroom. So go ahead and watch that. And then our first page, we're going to have 2 pages, a total of 12 questions. The first page is just going to be questions about what are the pieces of a story arc. If you want a reminder of what that is, you can find it in our Google Classroom under Understanding Story Arcs. But as we sit here and we try and make these answers, now that you've either rewatched that or you're taking the time to remember what a story arc is and the different pieces, let's practice answering what are those pieces. And as we do that, let's also practice becoming better test takers. As we look at our 4 options, only one is correct. A big strategy is being able to eliminate ones that we are fairly certain are not correct. The ones that we can say, that one doesn't make sense, or that one doesn't fit with this question. So let's see if we can eliminate any of the options in our first question. Exposition tells us what? Exposition tells us the problem of a story, characters and setting, about dogs, Mr. Burton. Out of those 4 options, exposition, we can tell that the problem of a story sounds like it could be right. I mean, we're talking about story arcs. Exposition might be part of a story. I don't know if it's the problem of a story. Characters and setting. Oh, that's part of a story. About dogs. Well, the video is about dogs, but exposition isn't about dogs. Mr. Burton. Exposition isn't about Mr. Burton. Those are going to be 2 very obvious answers for us to eliminate. Out of our first 2 options, the problem of a story. Exposition tells us the problem of a story, or exposition tells us characters and setting. Well, I remember that exposition is the first thing in our story. Exposition is at the beginning. Exposition will tell us characters and setting. We were able to take 4 options and easily eliminate 2, making our choices easier to think about and easier to focus on. If you're ever taking a test on paper, you could cross out the answers that you know are incorrect. Or if you're doing this on the computer, you could cover them up with your fingers. Or you can just be focusing on some of the ones that you know are correct. So right here, you might go, oh, I know it's 1 or 2. It's not the other one. It's either 1 or 2. For this page, I will have one of the obviously wrong answers either at the beginning or the end. So that will help you with being able to practice this skill. On our second page, where you're going to be talking about the exposition in our video of Pip, I'm going to put some of those distractors mixed up in here. So, exposition showed us that the characters and setting of Pip are... All right, let's try and figure out which ones we can ignore. They are a flock of seagulls. The exposition showed us that the characters and setting of Pip are Mr. Burton eating a full pan of lasagna, a small dog at a school for guide dogs, lots of dogs at a dog park. Well, I know that Mr. Burton eating a full pan of lasagna, that one's just goofy. That's not the answer. A flock of seagulls. We watched other videos about birds, but there weren't birds in the video Pip. So that one's not it. A small dog at a school for guide dogs, lots of dogs at a dog park. We now can narrow it down to 2, and we can focus better on those. And as we think, we go, well, these dogs, they were inside. They weren't at a park. They were at a school for dogs. That is going to be a strategy that you can utilize while you are taking tests and as you continue this set of questions.